Hey friends, it's Jen with ChappyPlans. Thanks for joining me for Project Life. This is week 26, so stick around. Hi friends, it's Jen with ChappyPlans. It's week 26, which means we are officially halfway through 2025, which is BANANAS, bananas. I'm going to zoom in and speed up the camera and do the voiceover now. I feel like by now you guys kind of know what I'm doing, so for me to narrate exactly what I'm doing is probably a little bit boring, maybe tedious. No one's ever really complained, but I am trying and failing to grow my channel, and I would love any constructive criticism that you might have. These Project Life videos do get quite a bit of views, which is awesome. Love that for me, love that for you if it's inspiring you, but I am always open to feedback. That being said, this is not my favorite spread, and that is because I didn't super love I don't know, I felt like I started out with one color scheme. That's kind of how I go. I go off of the colors that are in the kits and then the colors that are in the photos and try to pick colors from the kit that, complement the photos. This week, I don't know what it was, but it was just, there was so much that happened too, by the way, like tons of photos that did not get included. So, yeah, that being said, I kind of went into my stash. So I picked out what I had left from the kit that was green, which was just the 4x6 card that says, "Here comes another transition." That's going to be on the other side of this spread. And that was, I think that was it. Was there something else? I just really wanted this whole week to be about transition and change, so it was less about the kit and more about the theme of transition, because this was their last week of school and work for 2025, and so I used a few things from the kit, but most of the items that I'm using are from my stash. So this floral paper that I'm using right now to back the title card was a full-sized paper from one of the story kits, I can't remember which one, that I trimmed down to use in various places to back the vellum and to kind of pull that green out. And then I decided to kind of use those cards as my basis for the color scheme for the rest of the week. So the title card was a vellum quote card that said, "I'm sorry for the things I said when it was winter," and I just stamped the dates for the week, which was June 23rd through the 29th. I put week 26 on there. I'm using some circular label stickers from Studio Calico. I'm also using the remaining piece of this pattern paper to punch some 1.5-inch circles out and use those as embellishments. That's something I like to do to pull in a cohesive pattern throughout the week. And then I had a tag that I added some Baker's Twine to that said, "Loving this new rhythm." I also have some puffy Starburst type stickers that are older from Allie Edwards as well that I'll be sprinkling in there. And right now I'm decorating this picture of Nora and her Gunkle Dom. We went to see Elio in the movie theater on Monday after a full day of work. And then there's another picture in the middle row of Nora and her friend Fiona. I took them to see How to Train Your Dragon and totally forgot to journal about it, so that didn't get journaling, but that's okay because it's documented in my Hobonichi daily journaling pages. But I'm using a lot of the word phrase stickers as well. I've got greens and pinks in there, and they had some really fun sentiments that worked really well for the week. So I have making memories, contentment, and XOXO, and then I put this remember chipboard piece on the photo as well. I also have a picture of Nora in our neighbor's pool, and I just spelled out sun using the gold alphas from this month's kit, and then embracing this new season, which is, I think, also from this month's kit, but I'm not 100% sure, and then just stamped the date. On the This Was Fun, that's from the Fun Storyteller kit, and I just put M and T for Monday, Tuesday, so I could journal about the days. And I wrote that I couldn't believe our school was full day on Monday because all the surrounding schools were closed or did a half day because it was 99 degrees out, and not all the classrooms have air conditioning, including the gym, which we ended up having our end of the year slideshow that was scheduled for that day at 1 o'clock. So if you can imagine a gym with no AC, 99 degrees, and stuffed with the entire school and parents, it was disgusting. So we were really lucky. After school, we popped into our neighbor's pool, and then we went to go see the movie, which was lovely in the air conditioning. And actually, the movie was fantastic, one of my favorites. And then Tuesday, I wrote that today was the last of the full days. One of my students actually ended up getting, he was, let's just say he was playing Play-Doh, but with number 2. Okay, that's all I'm going to say because it was the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. That evening, I ended up working on my Week in the Life album, and Nora went swimming again. And then the last row is a picture of Nora with her teacher on the second to last day of school when we handed out teacher gifts. And I made him, if you give a teacher a cookie, or if you give your teacher a cookie. And so I journaled on the card to the left of it that says this, 1, 2, and 3. Just using my Micron pens right now, which I'm really into. They're like a fine liner and they're in different widths. So I use the 12 size nib to make the bold sort of like journaling, and then the 03 size nib to do the more like adding the details. So I'll read that to you. So it says, number 1, field day. Today was the annual field day at school, and our class didn't participate. I did, though. I wanted to see Nora playing. She did all the activities, and I even hopped into the tug-of-war games. That was a really big, unexpected workout. And then for number 2, I wrote teacher gifts. Nora and I had to stop at a bunch of stores to get different gift cards and a few smaller items to put all the teachers' presents together. And then 3 says gift assembly. I'd been waiting to make the If You Give Your Teacher a Cookie book all year, so was excited to finally put it together. For the actual gift items, i.e. the non-gift cards, I took pictures of them and taped the picture on the corresponding pages. We got lots of gifts for the teachers this year. And that sums up the left side of the page. The book was so much fun to make, by the way. I don't know if you've seen it, but you could Google it and you'll see like there's different variations. I just purchased a file on Etsy and then we went out and got all the gift cards. It was so cute and her teacher was extremely thankful, so that was super fun. So I am finishing up the left side of the spread, and then you're going to see everything in real time. The right side starts with the card from the month that I talked about that says, here comes another transition. Again, using the alphas to spell out the abbreviated day that I'm journaling about. And then on those spots, 1, 2, 3, and 4, I put last day, block party, teacher party, and family night. And that's all for one day. So there was a lot that happened this week. So I wrote, last day is in quotes since school is only from 7:30 to 8:50. Like, why? So dumb. I say it every year, and every year it happens. Block party, I dropped Nora off at the East Side neighborhood block party. Nora was nervous, but then had a ton of fun. Carrie was responsible for her, but a lot of parents and kids were there. Teacher party, I left the block party to head to the teacher party. Dom and I walked in together, and I was happy to get to see Kayla, a former school staff member, and hung out until about 4:30. Then I wrote family night. Nora and I left the block party at 6, and then all 3 of us went to dinner at 110 Grill and got delicious dessert crepes at T-Swirl. Fun, full day. And then I am decorating this picture of Nora on her last day, trying to squeeze this story die cut there. I trimmed it way down so that it wouldn't take up the whole picture because Nora's outfit is just so cute. And I spelled out last day with the gold alphas and put a little puffy sticker, called that good. And then the middle row is I have a grid of photos that are from Friday that I just shared all the journaling about. And then again, using that pattern paper to back the vellum card that says ready, set, go. And I just journaled on a half circle label there, ready for our summer fun, not ready for 5th grade. And then on the grid photo there, I put one of those labels. It says Friday was, and then I took the alphas and spelled out fun. And then I added another punched circle, trimmed off the side, and then I just added some stickers, some word phrase stickers that say fulfilled, highlights, and new routines. So there's some pictures there from the block party. There's a picture of me and a couple of the teachers at my school at the teacher party, and then Nora and Matt at dinner, and then Nora with her giant crepe at dessert. Okay, so the last row is a big picture my friend sent to me of Nora and her friends celebrating her friend Fiona's birthday party up at an indoor water park. So I embellished that one with HBD for happy birthday, obviously, and then I just journaled a little bit on that semicircle label that Nora went up to the park to celebrate the birthday. And then on top of the die cut circle I punched, I put the stickers that say documented, beautiful memory, and embracing change, because Nora had a ton of anxiety about going without me, and she did amazing. So very, very proud of her. It's a big step for her because she has some severe anxiety as well as separation anxiety. So good job, Nora. And then on the Here's the Story card to the right, I used those alphas again to indicate the initials for the days of the week. So for S for Saturday, I wrote dinner and shopping. I said Saturday was pretty typical. We decided to get dinner at Simone's. Then we went to Old Navy and Gap for Nora to get some new bathing suits. Matt took her to Ulta to get makeup because she had almost, well, she had straight A's on her report card, all mostly fours and then just a few threes. And four is exceeding expectations, so we were very, very proud of her. And then the other S for Sunday, I wrote SCV, birthday, and shed. And I wrote church was epic. We ordained 4 new pastors. Then Nora went to Fiona's birthday party all afternoon while we napped, then cleaned out the shed. We've been doing a lot of yard work in preparation for our America party that's happening on the 4th. So that is going to sum up this week. I know I went very quickly as usual, but I hope you enjoyed, and I would love to know, again, your thoughts and feedback. Greatly appreciated as always. Let me know if you have any questions about anything I shared, even like random things that I talk about. You're always welcome to comment and chit chat below, or you can DM me over on Instagram. I'm going to switch over to real time so you can see how this right side of the spread came out. You know, like I said, it wasn't my absolute favorite, but I think I made it work, especially given all the different stash pieces that I used. I kind of think it's impressive when you can make it work with all different working parts. So anyways, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell if you're not already. Would really appreciate that. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for being here. Take care, friends, and remember that you are enough. Bye.